We interrupt your scheduled program to bring you breaking news of an undergoing investigation. Here is Megan Daly. She is here to bring you exciting news regarding a teaching methodology called inquiry-based learning.
Throughout the past few months, I've been conducting an investigation on inquiry-based learning. I've come to a few conclusions, the most important one being textbook-based, standardized test-focused classrooms are out. They've got to go. Students deserve more than that, and we should prepare them better than that. If you're a teacher, administrator, or even a parent, this message is for you. The main goal of inquiry-based learning is for students to ask questions and find answers themselves. We should be done with spoon-feeding information to our students. The time is now for students to rely on themselves. Inquiry-based learning is experimentation. It's an approach that allows students to work more at their own pace. It's even a critical component to the scientific method in early enlightenment. Inquiry-based learning was also a core idea of both John Dewey and Maria Montessori's ideas around student-centered learning.
Inquiry-based learning stems from John Dewey's constructivist theory that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and then reflecting on those experiences. Constructivists believe that children learn best when they ask questions, investigate solutions, create new knowledge as they gather information, discuss their discoveries and experiences, and reflect on new knowledge. In other words, students' learning is not based on teacher-directed activities.
Children are constantly asking questions and trying to make meaning of the world around them. In the inquiry-based learning process, that's what learners will be doing. They will be thinking to make meaning. Inquiry-based learning generally always starts with a question. These questions are presented to the students, and the job of the students is to find the answers. This is different from traditional teaching in that students are not sitting passively, listening as the teacher lectures. Students are actively engaged and become investigators, scientists, mathematicians, and independent learners. The teacher's role is to ask questions, serve as a facilitator and guide, and provide an appropriate and welcoming environment for students. Teachers should be experts of the content as well as careful planners. When beginning the lesson, the teacher should start with an open-ended question or devise a topic based on the curriculum for the students to determine their own questions. Teachers will activate students' prior knowledge and encourage them to search for their own answers. For this process and approach, students will be building their own knowledge. As teachers tackle the inquiry-based approach, it is important to accept drawbacks rather than be hindered by them. Inquiry-based learning should improve student engagement, critical thinking skills, and cross-disciplinary opportunities, but it may also hinder lesson planning, covering content benchmarks, and assessing student progress. However, practitioners say that it is 100% worth their troubles. I met with a 4th grade teacher who believes inquiry-based learning transformed his classroom. Here's Mr. Glover with his viewpoint on inquiry-based learning.
This approach has given life to my classroom. It has changed how my students view learning. They are excited to come to school, and they are engaged more than ever. Inquiry-based learning just makes more sense. I'll never go back to my traditional teaching ways.
While there are a great number of advantages for inquiry-based learning, there could be some potential disadvantages. Inquiry-based learning is a type of cooperative, collaborative learning approach. It is possible that when students are collaborating, weaker students may need to go at a slower pace, or they may fall behind easier. However, research says that cooperative learning is effective. According to WNET Education, cooperative and collaborative learning bring positive results in students, such as a deeper understanding of content, increased overall achievement in grades, improved self-esteem, and a higher motivation to remain on task. There are 3 levels of inquiry: structured, guided, and open. In the structured approach, the teacher mainly directs the inquiry. He or she provides questions to the investigators and then provide step-by-step instructions that will help enable the student to discover the answers. In the guided approach, the teacher generally chooses the questions, but the students take more responsibility for establishing the directions and methods of their inquiry. The teacher plays an important role in guiding the inquiry. This could be through feedback or posing further questions that help lead the students in the right direction. In an open inquiry, the students take the lead in establishing the questions and methods, while the teacher takes on a supportive role. Having students guide their own investigations is the key to open inquiry and requires higher order thinking. It was once said by one of our beloved founding fathers, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I learn. Involve me and I remember." We should have listened to Franklin when he said that back in the 18th century, but since we can't go back in time to change our teaching ways, what is our excuse for not changing them now? Educators must understand that schools need to go beyond data and information accumulation and move toward the generation of useful and applicable knowledge, a process supported by inquiry learning. In the past, our country's success depended on our supply of natural resources. Today, it depends upon a workforce that works smarter.
The idea, though, is this. If we want students to own their learning, if we want them to remain curious, if we want classrooms to be bastions of curiosity and wonder, well, then we need to have something like inquiry-based learning in place so that they learn how to ask great questions, find the answers, and share their results with their peers.
Thank you, Megan. And I thank you all for tuning in and following along with this investigation. Inquiry-based learning will be on the rise from here on out, so go ahead and get a jump on it. Now back to your scheduled program. Good night.